So are we ready to get started? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy morning to join us here today. I'm Inspector Jennifer McKinnon with the Winnipeg Police Service Major Crimes Unit. We are very pleased to announce the launch of the Manitoba's Most Wanted website. The purpose of this website is to direct public awareness to some of the violent offenders that the Manitoba Integrated Violent Offender Apprehension Unit is actively looking for. Before I get started, it's important to acknowledge those who are here with us today to speak on this significant milestone. Minister of Justice and Attorney General, the Honourable Matt Wiebe, Mayor Scott Gillingham, Inspector Sean Pike of the RCMP Major Crime Services, and Chair of the Winnipeg Crime Stoppers, Rob McKenzie. So first, I'd like to bring you back to May of 2023 when the Manitoba Integrated Violent Offender Apprehension Unit, yes, that's a mouthful, was launched. The sole purpose of this unit was to target violent offenders and hold them responsible for their criminal acts. Tackling the increase in violent crime in Winnipeg and across the province demands a cooperative response. This response is a collaborative effort of the Winnipeg Police Service and RCMP Division with a focus on individuals who are responsible for committing violent and serious offenses that threaten the very fabric of our communities. This integrated unit identifies, locates, and apprehends violent offenders throughout Manitoba and assists investigative units from both the RCMP and Winnipeg Police Service, as well as our external law enforcement partners. Since the inception of the unit, officers, along with professional staff from both agencies, have made a significant impact towards the safety of our communities. As of May of last year, officers have been out in the community knocking on 2,572 doors in an effort to locate and safely apprehend violent offenders evading police. They've arrested 480 violent offenders to date, so this is from May of last year, and executed 681 warrants in relation to these offenders. 86% of the offenders arrested are involved either, or is someone involved either on bail, probation, or parole. 27% of the violent offenders arrested since May of last year were known to police as gang members or associates. Offenders who find themselves on this list are responsible for homicides, aggravated assaults, firearms offenses, and crimes that quite frankly caused immeasurable suffering and hardship. And that's how they've become the focus of this unit. By identifying and removing these individuals from our neighborhoods, the efforts of the Violent Offender Apprehension Unit help restore a collective feeling of safety. We recognize this impact wouldn't happen without the hard work and dedication of the members and professional staff and team who team up each and every day. We'd also like to thank and recognize Winnipeg Crime Stoppers and Manitoba Crime Stoppers for their continued partnership. Now we are asking for your help. We can't do it alone. So it's at this time that I'd like to invite Inspector Sean Pike from the RCMP to tell you just how you can do that.
Good morning, Mr. Wiebe, Mayor Gillingham, Inspector McKinnon. Thank you to everyone who is here today. As Inspector McKinnon said, violent offenders who are at large and who have warrants for their arrest are an ever-increasing concern for the Manitoba RCMP and the Winnipeg Police Service. In Winnipeg and communities across the province, there are wanted individuals who have committed incredibly violent acts and continue to actively and purposely evade police. These wanted persons often rely on friends and associates and travel from community to community to avoid the efforts of our officers to track and arrest them. This is why the Manitoba Integrated Violent Offender Apprehension Unit was created. We know it takes a group of dedicated officers as well as highly trained criminal analysts all working together to go after these individuals to remove them from our streets and communities. The results, as we've heard, have been incredible. In just over a year, this integrated unit has taken into custody nearly 500 violent offenders. And when you think about that, 500 violent offenders is phenomenal work and a significant impact to our province. Thank you to all of the RCMP and Winnipeg Police Service officers and employees working in this unit and supporting this cause. Know your work is making a difference, and the safety and security of not only people in Winnipeg, but in communities across this province. So thank you. While the work of the unit has been very successful, we know that even more success can come when the public is engaged. At the Manitoba RCMP, we have been using social media as an operational tool to help detachments locate wanted individuals for a number of years now. This is through our Wanted Wednesday initiative, where certain individuals are highlighted on our social media pages. Every person that is featured through this initiative is tracked. Upon arrest, we check to see if this social media efforts played any role in capturing them. I can tell you in 2023 alone, we were able to directly link the arrests of 43 wanted persons back to the efforts of our social media work. We've had multiple incidents of relatives, including parents, contacting us with information. For example, we've had occasions where a parent will drive a wanted individual to a detachment so that they can turn themselves in. We've also had an individual walk into one of our detachments, show our officers on their phone the RCMP Facebook page, asking to be arrested so that the post of them can be taken down. More importantly and most frequently, we receive tips from community members who are tired of the violence and fear these individuals bring to their community. The bottom line, we know that reaching out to the public through social media and any other means works. By centering the attention of Manitobans on these featured and wanted individuals, we are highlighting that it's just not the police looking for them, but an entire province. With the launch today of the Manitoba Most Wanted, and there it is there, of Manitoba's Most Wanted, we're telling these wanted individuals that their days of hiding in the shadows are coming to an end. History shows that when we engage with the public and ask for help, the public will respond and they come through. Collectively, as Manitobans, we all have a vested interest in this. This initiative is truly about us all working together to make this province safer. Thank you. Now I will invite Minister of Justice, the Honourable Matt.
Well, thank you very much. It's always an honor to be here on behalf of the province and to be here with our partners in law enforcement, with the WPS, with the RCMP, their partners, of course, at the city. Mr. Mayor, good to see you again, and thank you for always being a partner with us. And of course, our friends at Crime Stoppers, who do great work in the community. It's always great to reconnect with you. This is a great day, and it's a great day to recognize and report back on the results that have been achieved by the Manitoba Integrated Violent Offender Apprehension Unit, and also the launch of Manitoba's new Most Wanted website. This unit has been a collaboration. It's been an effort between the Winnipeg Police Service and the RCMP to target and arrest violent offenders in our community. The unit targets people who are terrorizing Manitobans and those who are exploiting our most vulnerable citizens. I'm proud to say that the police officers with the Manitoba Integrated Violent Offender Apprehension Unit have made significant strides in the fight against violent crime. Their work is supported by an annual $3 million investment from the province, an investment that we are committed to continuing. In 2024, the hardworking officers within this unit recorded a notable increase in arrests, with a total of 264 arrests made in just the first 3 quarters of the year. Among those arrested, over 80% were offenders who were on bail, parole, or probation. Additionally, more than a quarter of those arrested were known gang members or associates of gangs. This unit is protecting Manitobans from violent crime every single day. As well, the Manitoba Integrated Violent Offender Apprehension Unit is also announcing the launch of Manitoba's Most Wanted, a website which will be a powerful tool for both police and for the public to assist with apprehending these violent offenders. Together, we can make our communities safer, and our government will continue to provide police with the resources that they need to make this happen. This collaboration between Manitoba Justice, the RCMP, and Winnipeg Police Service maximizes the resources and delivers real results that enhance public safety in our communities across the province. Our government promised to be tough on crime and tough on the causes of crime, and our support of the Manitoba Integrated Violent Offender Apprehension Unit is an integral part of that commitment. I want to thank all the officers who are involved with the unit for your tireless efforts in keeping our streets safe from violent crime, and to thank you to all of our partners who are making this province safer. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Matt Weed, for your comments, and it's with my great pleasure that I get to invite Mayor Gillingham to come up and speak.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Minister Weeb, Inspectors McKinnon and Pike, and Chair McKenzie. Thank you so much for being here as well. I'm very pleased to be here today to recognize the significant progress being made by the Manitoba Integrated Violent Offender Apprehension Unit, or the MIVOAU. Neither of those is easy to say, but the work is significant. Creating a unit like this was in fact a campaign commitment of mine in 2022. We were elected 2 years ago. When I was elected 2 years ago, one of the first priorities is to work with the provincial government, the Winnipeg Police Service and the RCMP to establish this unit. And I want to thank the province of Manitoba for their ongoing financial support. And I want to thank the members of the Winnipeg Police Service, members of the RCMP, for the outstanding work that they are doing to make progress in apprehending, arresting individuals who are out in our community, known to be dangerous, repeat offenders, and making sure that they are held accountable. This unit targets the most serious offenders, the individuals who have been committing the violent crimes, those with extensive criminal histories, and those who pose a great risk to public safety. By focusing on these high-risk individuals, this unit ensures that our law enforcement efforts are directed where they are needed the most, on the individuals who are repeatedly offending and have demonstrated a disregard for the law. We are committed to making our community safer. I'm committed to making Winnipeg safer, and this unit helps us to make Winnipeg a safer place for all. This proactive approach to crime prevention, getting violent offenders off the streets, has a direct impact on improving public safety across Winnipeg and, in fact, throughout the province. Every arrest made, every warrant executed contributes to making our neighborhoods safer for everyone. But we cannot achieve this alone. And again, I want to take the opportunity to sincerely thank all those who are on the front lines of the Winnipeg Police Service and RCMP, and in fact, all the people that work in the back offices. There are a lot of people that are working in support roles that aren't on the streets that are also partners in making this possible. And I want to thank members of the public who phone in, text in, call in, tips, whatever it may be, to make sure that police can do their work. To all involved, your efforts, alongside the financial and operational support from Manitoba Justice, have been crucial in this unit's success so far. And what a remarkable success. Almost 500 individuals arrested. The launch of the Manitoba's Most Wanted website today is an important next step in engaging the public in our shared goal of community safety. It's about keeping residents informed and empowered to help law enforcement track down dangerous offenders, ensuring that our collective efforts continue to yield results to make our communities safer. By working together, law enforcement, government, and community members, we are and will continue to build a safer Winnipeg. Thank you.
And lastly, I'd like to invite the Chair of Winnipeg Crime Stoppers, Rob McKenzie, to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. In partnership with Manitoba Crime Stoppers, Brandon Crime Stoppers, Winnipeg Police Service, and the RCMP. We are proud to offer enhanced rewards for any tips leading to the apprehension of any individuals listed on the new Manitoba's Most Wanted website. Tips to Winnipeg Crime Stoppers in the first 8 months of this year has resulted in 65 individuals being apprehended that were at large on a warrant. We're hoping with the public's assistance that we can double or triple these numbers and get everyone on this list captured. You can submit your tip anonymously at 204-786-TIPS, that's 8477, or confidentially online through our website at www.winnipegcrimestoppers.org. It is completely confidential. Your anonymity is guaranteed, and no one will ever know it was you. Thank you.
Guess it's going to be up to me to open the room up to any questions that you may have for our guest speakers today.
Yes, I have a question in general, like how many people are present on the website currently?
Currently, I think we have 10, but that can change depending on how we're going to be rolling it out through the months.
How do you decide who makes the list?
So who makes the list? So these are violent offenders. This is not representative community. This is going to be representative of violent crime. So that's what we're looking at first when we put this list together.
For the first 3 quarters of 2024, the 264 violent offenders, it says 84% of arrests involve someone who was either on bail, probation, or parole. Just looking at some of the wanted for there, I take it they're either committing new crimes or violating the conditions of their release. Is that?
That is correct.
So can somebody speak to how all of that is? But we've obviously.
Well, I think it speaks for itself, really. I mean, I just mentioned we had 86% are on bail, probation, or parole in the last year since May. So these are violent offenders who are being arrested, being held accountable for their crimes, and have come back out onto our streets in the city and have reoffended, or they're breaching those conditions. So they're clearly not taking these matters seriously. However, both the RCMP and the Winnipeg Police Service are, and that's why we have this unit, is to address this continuing revolving door of offenders.
And how will people, I get it, it's a website, it's going to be on social, how will, are there going to be ways where police will direct people to the website? Obviously, you're doing this awareness today with the media, but I mean, how are you going to get the message to people, hey, check this website? Is it going to be blasted on social media?
So it is going to be going out on social media, and I think Inspector Sean Pike, although I don't like speaking for the RCMP, they've already created similar initiative predating this most wanted list through their Warrant Wednesdays. These are going out on social media, Facebook. They're going to be on our website. We're encouraging people to check it out. And as Inspector Pike had said, offenders are aware of this. They've come to the detachments showing their pictures on their cell phones, as he mentioned. So people are going to be looking. We hope that you look, and we really sincerely request that you contact us or contact Crime Stoppers.
How many officers are working with the unit?
I believe we have 12 overall in regards to officers, and we also have professional staff members that work with the unit, both with the Winnipeg Police Service and the RCMP.
And are these 12 officers, are they all Winnipeg Police Service officers, or is it split between RCMP and Winnipeg Police?
It's divided between both our services. This is an integrated unit between the RCMP and the Winnipeg Police Service, so we're working collectively together.
Can you say what the split is? Is it like 6 from RCMP, 6 from Winnipeg
that's
Police?
correct.
Something like that, okay.
Yeah.
And then these officers, what kind of experience do they have? Are they coming from narcotics units or gang units, or kind of a mix of everything, major crimes perhaps?
Yeah, we're looking for experienced officers with both agencies that have come to the table that are dedicated to searching for these individuals. So they come with a whole vast gamut of experience. I can't highlight just one because each of these individuals brings something significant to the table.
And with 480 arrests over the last 17 months, that works out to about 28 arrests per month. So, I mean, they're knocking on doors, arresting people every day. Can you just speak about the significance of that work? Like how much legwork actually goes into this?
It's a lot of legwork. I think I mentioned that there was over 2,700 door knocks. So that's significant. They're not knocking on a door and you're not there and moving on to the next offender. They are using all the tools that are accessible to them to search out how to find these people. I'm not going to elaborate on how we do that because then these violent offenders are going to be able to evade us much more significantly than they have. But there's a lot of effort and a lot of work. And I think Sean and myself are extremely proud of the effort that these members have put in.
The press release mentions that there was, the unit worked most recently with Vancouver Police Service. Did that have any connection to Project Soft Landing? We heard about that back in May. It was an interprovincial drug ring that was broken up here in Winnipeg.
No, I don't think I'm going to be speaking unless Inspector Pike would like to come up and address it. But we work with the agencies across Canada, not necessarily for any specific project. But Sean, if you would like to.
Yeah, I think what we'll say just for clarity purposes is we won't talk about specific investigations, but I think what you're seeing here in the province, I know what you're seeing here over the last year, as Jen has mentioned, is you're seeing officers from two organizations coming together, working in various different geographical dynamics. We have the city here. We have rural areas here that some of these areas are fly-in only. Some are winter roads, one road in, one road out, very limited. And these officers are doing an incredible job complementing each other's skill sets and understanding what is required in these different environments. And that's, I think, the biggest takeaway when we look at it from an operational level, how well these officers have come together. And I think quite honestly, I think they're setting a standard here.
Yes, we have some questions. So,
Sure. Regarding the revolving door that you had previously referenced, beyond capturing offenders, are there efforts being made within this initiative to rehabilitate and reintegrate offenders into society to reduce recidivism within the justice system? Maybe like a bigger picture question.
Yeah, I think you're, and it's a great question, but it is, that is a lot bigger question. There's some of that's outside of the scope of what the work this unit's doing. Like really what we're looking at doing here are who are meeting our violent offender criteria, for lack of a better term. And we are going to look for them, to arrest them, to put them into the justice system, and then where it goes from there. But I think the good thing to look at, though, when we talk about the numbers and the numbers that Inspector McKinnon talked about, this 86%, it's, when you look at the population of Manitoba, I think it's a very, very tiny population that is causing all these problems. And that's what lets this unit be successful, by being able to focus on that one dynamic there. When it reaches into the rest of the justice system, society as a whole, we play a part in it, but it's a lot bigger conversation.
I'm just gonna cut in here too, because I think I threw the justice system under the bus when I say a revolving door. I'm not speaking specifically to Manitoba prosecutions. I think it should be very clear that they have been very engaged with both the Winnipeg Police Service and the RCMP with the Manitoba Violent Offender Unit. We work with prosecutions. They do reach out to us, and we do travel across Canada bringing offenders back and holding them accountable. So it is unfair of me to say the revolving door. I just wanted to put it into context.
I had a question.
yeah,
I had one more.
Yeah.
Thinking of the MIVOAU.
Say that 3 times.
Yeah. So, and I understand there's engagement with community. You mentioned WPS, the province, the city. Everyone is involved. Are there other grassroots initiatives that are being engaged in the process of achieving the shared goal of community safety? So just thinking of like Bear Clan Patrol, BCSP, Sabe Peace Walkers, even like the transit safety officers. Is there collaboration happening at those levels?
Well, we have a community relations unit, and as you know, we have a community engagement superintendent, Bonnie Emerson, who is not here today, that not just on violent offender, but on initiatives across the board. We are continually engaging, having these available on social media and readily accessible not only to the public, but to the grassroots organizations is a benefit to our service. And we do have a continued partnership with them and work with them on these matters.
I'd like to know a bit about like the methodology of the units in the way it works. I mean, if, for example, there are officers from any services, they're on the scene, they're like apprehending an individual. Which point they decide to hand this case over to the apprehension unit? Like how exactly is it possible to have a bit of knowledge about that?
So this can happen a number of ways. We have our law enforcement partners. We have our investigative units both within the Winnipeg Police Service and the RCMP. We have CBSA, we have Manitoba Prosecutions, and we have Manitoba Corrections. So all of this information is compiled from all these agencies to identify who our violent offenders unit is and subsequent warrants for their arrest. Then they get prioritized by our sergeants. However, if we have an offender who's committed an act that poses an immediate risk to public safety, any of these investigative units can reach out to the violent offender unit and engage with them sooner than later to get out and start looking for these individuals so that we can get them into custody and prevent further crime from happening.
Is the unit itself making the arrests? Because I understand like there are like 12 members.
Yeah, so
That's all for
violent offender unit is an apprehension unit. So they're not the investigative team. They are not doing the investigations from the offense. These are members that are offenders that have been identified to this unit, and they are going out and facilitating, looking for them and taking them into custody.
Any questions for the mayor to just?
Yes. I have a question for the mayor. Obviously, we've been talking to businesses and they do believe that the retail theft initiative is working. However, we do see businesses are still closing. 7-Eleven appears are closing stores. Darcy's Art says they're closing the thrift store. It's not for profit. What's your message to businesses who are maybe thinking of pulling the plug because of crime?
We don't want to see any businesses close because of issues of public safety or the amount of times that they're subjected to thefts or their staff members are subjected to threats. And so that's why we're here today, to talk about the fact that we have made and are making strides. For some businesses, it may not be fast enough, and I absolutely appreciate that. But I think what you see here is partnerships and partnerships in action. That's not talk. The province and the city of Winnipeg are working in partnership. The Winnipeg Police Service, the RCMP are working in partnership. And we have taken 500, almost 500 violent offenders off the street. There's also another set of individuals who maybe aren't violent as much, but they're also wreaking havoc on our community, and we're serious about tackling that as well. As I've said many times before, retail theft is not a victimless crime. The shop owner who's put their energy and savings into running their store is a victim. The students sometimes who are staff members are victims. And so we have and will continue to work towards addressing retail theft. And so we're taking all of this very seriously, whether it's violent offenders, want them off the street to make the community safer. Those involved in retail theft, we want them, their work to be curbed because we want them frankly arrested when need be and held to account. There's a matter of justice here that needs to be at play as well. I consistently say we trumps me. And so what this means is the health and the safety of our community is more important than an individual at the moment. If that individual is wreaking havoc on the community, they need to be picked up. If they've committed an offense, I believe they need to be charged with that offense. So many individuals talk about the fact that they get the help they need sometimes when they're either incarcerated or have been some sort of timeout, whether it's through restorative justice or something else, so we can get people on the right path and ultimately make our community safer and those businesses safer as well. But maybe I'll turn it over to the minister to add anything to that.
Mr. Mayor. I think I'll just say, we just brought together over 400 small, medium, and large businesses, with law enforcement, with community, at our retail crime summit on Friday. And what we heard loud and clear was they're looking for a partnership. They're looking for ways to work together to address the violent crime that they're seeing, to address the retail crime issues that they've had. And they've seen us as a partner from the provincial level. Of course, we stepped up throughout the summer on retail crime specifically, more money for overtime for Winnipeg police officers. But they also see the work with the Downtown Community Safety Partnership and others that is really investing in our businesses, in our communities, and making everyone safer. 7-Eleven was a sponsoring partner at that event. And we've had conversations with them specifically. We want to work with businesses like 7-Eleven, as I said, small, medium, and large businesses across the province to understand what their specific needs are. We've communicated that this fall we're going to be bringing legislation forward around machetes to the Manitoba legislature. We expect quick passage of that bill so that we can get to work about banning these things from our streets and keeping them out of the hands of violent offenders. So we're moving our feet, and we're going to continue to do that. But every success that we've had, it's been in partnership with law enforcement, with business, with community. And that's really, I think, how we're going to see success going forward. And maybe I'll just very quickly touch on the bail initiatives that we undertook. The violent offender apprehension unit that we're talking about today is an important part of that work. But we weren't complacent in sitting back and saying that's enough. So we've got additional resources in the Department of Justice that are working towards this. We're doing better on information sharing with other jurisdictions. And again, this unit is a big part of that. And our electronic monitoring program, which was cut under the PC government, has been brought back. We're going to continue to invest in that and find new ways to enhance the safety and security of those who are out on bail, on probation, and make sure that we're keeping businesses and communities safe.
What did 7-Eleven say to you at the conference? You said,
yeah.
Heard from them. What did they tell you?
Well, they're joining with other retailers to say that we need to find solutions. So we certainly see the challenges that we face in community, and retailers are a part of that. They understand that the investments that we've made have been very targeted and been successful. So there's opportunity now, as we're bringing on 12 new officers this fall, provincially funded officers, which will be coming into the system, that there's an opportunity for us to take those lessons learned from the overtime project and build them into a more sustainable and long-term solution.
Anything more?
What about the food patrol initiatives? Do you plan on extending
Sorry, say that
the
again?
food patrol initiatives, like about
Yeah.
officers on the ground on foot? And do you planning on expand these initiatives to elsewhere in the city and to perhaps other cities in Manitoba as well?
Well, again, we take direction from the WPS, from Brandon Police Service, RCMP, about where the resources are most needed. But what I will say is some of the success that we saw with our initiative this summer was about that community relationship that officers had with businesses and with others in the community. Getting out, being proactive in building those relationships. Good work that had been done previously by the WPS, but of course resources are always a challenge. So now if we can free up additional resources to ensure they can do that kind of work, it's the kind of work that officers want to do. They want to be building those community relationships. How can we give them the funding or give them the resources to be able to now do that in a more comprehensive way? It's been a huge success. We've heard anecdotally from businesses. We've seen the numbers in terms of engagements, in terms of arrests, and in terms of property that's been recovered or prevented from being stolen. So we see these successes. Now, how do we build this into a longer term solution?
Thank you for coming.